You are welcome to today's video, and in this video I'm going to tell you how Jamb 2026 result statistic is going to affect your admission this year. So stay with me as I analyze the Jamb 2026 result statistic and tell you where you stand in 2026/2027 admission process. So the Jamb 2026 result statistic has been categorized into 4 categories, namely the first category, which is the category of the lowest competition, making up about 0.6% of the entire population. The second category, which is the category of the mild competition, making up about 30% of the entire population. The third category, which is the category of the moderate competition, making up about 17% of the entire Jamb UTME result. While the fourth category is the category of the highest competition, making up about 50% of the entire Jamb result statistic. Now, let's dive into each of these categories, one before the other. The first, which is the category of the lowest competition, making up about 0.6% of the entire population. Here, we have candidates that scored 300 and above. The candidates that scored 300 and above in the just concluded Jamb UTME 2026 are about 12,000 candidates in number. So the population here is so small, very small. So the chances of gaining admission in this category, if you fall under this category, your chances of gaining admission is about 98% chances. So the remaining 2% left there is to be shared between post-UTME, screening, and Jamb admission rules and regulation. Here in this category, most candidates here applied for highly competitive courses such as medicine, dentistry, law, engineering, nursing, and so on and so forth. You also have pharmacy here. As it be so, I have decided to add both candidates that scored 290 into this category. We believe this category to be candidates that scored from 290 to 300 plus. So these candidates will take 50% of the admission slots available for these highly competitive courses. The next category here is the category of the mild competition, and in this category we have candidates scoring between 250 to 270, making up about 30% of the entire Jamb UTME result statistic. About 29,000 candidates in total, and the possibility of getting admission if you scored anywhere between 250 to 270 is about 65%. So you have 65% chances of gaining admission if you fall under this category. And remember that most of the candidates here in this category also apply. Let me say like 85% of these candidates also applied for these highly competitive courses such as law, medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, nursing, engineering, and so on and so forth. What do you think these candidates are going to do? This candidate that wanted to study medicine or that wanted to study law, the candidate was actually expecting to score 300 plus, but ended up scoring 250, 260, 270. What do you think they will do? They will be forced, most of them, at least 70% of them will be forced to change their courses to much lower courses or to courses with lower competition courses. What are these courses? Courses such as med lab, radiography, SLT, science laboratory technology. You also have physiotherapy and biochemistry. They are going to change. So let's move over to the next category, which is the category of the moderate competition. And in this category, we have candidates scoring between 200 to 249. They are about 334,000 in number, making up 17% of the entire Jamb UTME candidate population. Most of these candidates too, about 70% of them, must have still applied to study these highly competitive courses such as medicine, law, and the others. What do you think they are going to do? Because they also targeted that's 300 plus, but at the end they didn't get 300 plus. So what are they going to do? What will be their next step? Their next step is going to be changing to courses of lower or lesser competition. The same courses, this same population, 70% of them are still going to change to these courses of lower competition such as SLT, med lab, radiography, physiotherapy, biochemistry, and so on and so forth. Can you see? So you can see that these courses that were seen before as courses of low competition are now turning towards courses of high competition, because the high percent rate of failure has affected the decision of candidates. So the courses that were known to be courses of low competition, such as med lab, you can now see that more candidates are going to switch, that they are going to change to those courses, causing what? Pooling of candidates in those courses, in those departments. Before I talk where you stand and what you should do, your next step, let's look at the final category, which is the category of the highest competition. And this category, you have candidates scoring anywhere from 160 to 199. They are about 983,000 in number out of the entire population. You can see how populous they are. And they make up about 50% of the entire population. You can see 50% of the Jamb UTME candidates that took the exam scored between 160 to 199. 50%, that's more than half. So what do you expect here? Most of the candidates under this category, what are they going to do? What is going to be their next move? 85% of them will still change to these courses of lower competition. These courses, we believe that they are courses of lower competition. They are lower competition courses. They will still change. And remember, many of these candidates also apply for medicine and surgery, also apply for all these highly competitive courses. So they will change. And if they change, the pool for that word saturates. Okay, the pool for that saturates. So you can now see, I hope it's now clearer to you that these courses that were once less competitive are now turning out to be the most competitive courses now. Can you see? So from the analysis, to advise each and every Jamb UTME candidate scoring anywhere from around 160 to 270, okay, or from around 160 to 279. You see these courses: Med Lab, Science Laboratory Technology, SLT, Biochemistry, Physiotherapy, Radiography. All these courses are going to turn competitive because of the way the result trend affected candidates' decision making. Many of them have started making decisions right now. They have started making decisions. So if you scored low and you want admission, you want to enter the university, you just want to be admitted, but you scored low, this is what you are going to do. If your score falls anywhere between 160 to 200, this is what you are going to do. Apply for courses. If you are a science student, apply for courses such as physiology, anatomy, microbiology, psychology, and so on and so forth. Leave all those med lab, leave all those science laboratory technology, because you are going to have pool of candidates there. You are going to have pool of candidates there. So leave those ones, okay? Apply for these ones I just listed. You are going to get admission. It's very, very certain, okay? Because Jamb or the institution is going to consider you that applied for a course before considering someone that didn't apply for that course at all. You know, they use some candidates to, you know, complete quota in some department. So they are going to consider those that apply for the course, that put the course as their first choice, first of all, before considering those that they are bringing. Maybe because their score is still high and they apply for medicine, they can't go push them, use them, complete quota for the other side. So that gives you a higher possibility, higher chances of, you know, gaining admission in those courses. But if you don't, your score is low and you don't care whether you gain admission or not, and you need your course, you need the course you applied, the course you apply, all you have to do, just try your luck, prepare for your post-UTME, and you go and take your post-UTME. But prepare your mind that you are likely going to take Jamb UTME again in 2027. So prepare your mind and get ready for the exam ahead, if need be, that you are going to take Jamb UTME 2027. So if you are an engineering student, I will advise you, if you score anywhere between 160 to 199, I will advise you to apply for engineering such as structural engineering, because their level of applicant is usually low, very low. So apply for structural engineering, change your course to structural engineering. Your issue, your problem is admission. You just want to gain admission. Okay, you don't care about the course, okay? Because many are still going to be denied admission this year. Even if you qualify, your mark reach, many are still going to be denied admission this year. So if you're a social science or art candidate and you need admission, you just want to be admitted, what you care about is entering the university. What you have to do, apply for subjects that are courses. For example, economics is a subject, but it's also a course. You can apply for courses like that to study economics. Put it as your first choice. Okay, you are going to secure admission easily. So if your score for anywhere around 160 to 200. Don't forget that 7% of the entire population, that's the entire population of students that took Jamb UTME 2026, are going to gain admission through the back door or the window. If you don't get it, forget about it. So about 7% of the population, this my analysis doesn't apply to them. Just try to understand that. If you don't understand, go and find someone to translate that for you. So if you don't want wahala, you have money, you can apply to private university. Just generally go to private university, buy their form, pay school fees, enter school. If you don't just want wahala and your score low. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next video. Do not forget to subscribe, share this video, and drop a like. Also drop your view in the comment section. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.